Welcome to your second day of Project Sketch. Today you're going to do a line drawing and then we're going to finish it up using cross-hatching. Now I know you may not know what either of those are, but I'm going to show you now. There are different kinds of line drawings, but we're going to focus on contour line drawings. With contour line drawings, you focus on the shape instead of the details. Here are some examples of line drawings. So if you'll notice, there's no shading and they only use the lines. You can use weighted lines, which are just thicker and thinner lines to have more of an emphasis, to make it look more 3D, and just to make it look a little more interesting. Here's a great example of a line drawing that also has great form. So it's very interesting. They chose to use color. It draws your eye right to the center, and then you notice all the other details. So by now you should have chosen your object that you're going to draw. Remember, you're going to draw the same object for each assignment. So I chose a light bulb. Now I'm going to show you how to draw your object as a contour line drawing from start to finish. It's important to note that your finished product should not be sketchy lines like this on the right. It should be smooth, straight lines. I mean, they can be curved. You just don't want them to look like messy. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do, open Adobe Draw, click iPad Pro, and you're going to put in your images. To do that, click the plus sign on the right, choose Image Layer on my iPad, then choose the reference images you want to use. I'm choosing these two. To change the size or to move them, all you have to do is click on that specific image layer and then click Transform. Then you can resize and move it. Now you're going to click the plus sign and Draw Layer. I'm going to start this with a very light blue color just so I can make a sketch and then go over it with black. So I'm going to go with the light blue, then I'm going to take down the opacity to around 30 so that it's super light. So I tried to draw this light bulb several times before this video, and the only way I could get the proportions right is to do exactly what I'm doing here on the left, where I practice doing the shape over the actual image, and then I try to mimic the shape on my blank canvas. So that's a great way to learn how to draw. So whatever image or object that you chose to use, break it up into tiny shapes and then just try to recreate those shapes. So now if you look at the bottom left light bulb, you'll see that I'm outlining the middle sides of it, and then I'm trying to recreate those on my blank canvas. Then I just continue this process. Now I'm doing where the light bulb, the glass part meets the metal, trying to get that shape just right by tracing it on the left and then recreating it on the right. Doing the same thing at the bottom metal piece now. Looks kind of like a square, a rectangle. So I'm going to recreate that on the right side until I get it just about right. Now going back through to make those little metal grooves. Same process now, looking at the bottom of the metal and trying to identify a shape that I can match. The final step on the sketch is to compare my drawing with the images and just kind of correct where I see things that aren't exactly right. Alright, so now, final drawing, you're going to change the color to black and then add a new draw layer. Again, make sure you are not drawing on this blue layer. It needs to be a completely new layer. Alright, so now, I'm just choosing the best lines that I've already created and lining those in black. This should be one line, very neat, very clean, not like a sketch at all. So up here at the top left, you can see where that shape is not right. So I'm going to erase, and I'm going to try again, and I'm going to try again and again until I get it exactly like the shape that it needs to be. Alright, I'm going to continue on with my black lines. I'm going to change the size of the lines periodically just to make sure that I have emphasis in the correct places, to make it a little more interesting and to give it a little dimension. Alright, now it's time to double tap the blue layer so I can see how it looks. Alright, so it looks pretty good. I need to use the transform tool, so click the layer that you drew on and then click transform, and then you can resize it, move it around a little, and get it looking a little better. Alright, now it is time for the details in the middle. So I'm going to go back to my sketch. So I'm going to add a layer completely by itself, go back to the blue color, lower the opacity, and sketch out the middle. So to get this proportionally correct, I'm going to have to draw some guidelines. So wherever I see major things, I'm going to draw a line. So I see that I can divide this basically into thirds. So 1/3 of the way up into the glass, I'm going to draw a line, and then another third of the way up, I'm going to draw another line. Now that I have my guidelines, I can see where things need to go. So I can start filling in the middle. Now remember, if you make any sizing mistakes or you draw it a little crooked, you can still use that transform tool and resize it and make minor adjustments. Alright, final step. Draw over it with black. So let's add a draw layer. Alright, double tap the blue layer so you can get rid of the sketch. Double tap each image layer so you can get rid of your reference photos. If you click the top layer and choose merge down, it will join the two layers. Then you can use the transform tool to resize it and center it. Alright, to make your life easier, we're going to duplicate the project. First, click the 3 dots at the top right, then choose select project. Click on your project, then click the red squares at the bottom right. Now you have a copy of your project.